So, I bet watching the Sith Q&A video and then seeing this video is like watching a before and after, right? Anyway, so let's talk about some news that came up, and it wasn't enough news for me to like do two separate videos. So I was like, I'm gonna mash them together. I'm gonna squeeze the two pieces of news together and talk about it from there. And what news is it? Well, it's two very vastly different things. We're going to be talking about the news of the teaser for Return to Silent Hill, and also talk a bit about the remake to Silent Hill, as well as the other bit of news, the news dropped of the movie announcement for Doc Savage. So, let's get started with Silent Hill, because I was a little more excited for Silent Hill than I was Doc Savage, and I'll explain why in a bit. But I have a low-key love for... I'm not a major fan of Silent Hill, but I do love the aesthetic. I love, like, the psychological horror to it, and you can't go wrong with Pyramid Head, right? Like, you just can't go wrong with Pyramid Head. Now, Christopher Gaines, the original director of the first movie, is coming back for this movie. And this is now only the third Silent Hill film. Silent Hill Revelations can go fuck off, and while there are some problems with the first Silent Hill movie, I will say that it is a underrated video game movie. I do think that yes, I acknowledge that the first Silent Hill film has some flaws to it, but at the end of the day, comparatively speaking to other video game movies, it's not awful. Like, I can actually it's a tolerable movie, and I gotta say, like, what I saw from this teaser looked pretty good. I do like the fact that, like, Gaines said that, you know, Konami is now working closely with the studio, which they didn't do with the other two films. Konami's actually, like, invested enough to work side by side, and even get Silent Hill's composer to do the music for the movie. So if that says anything about them with this property that Konami has just thrown to the wayside for the longest time, that has to count for something, right? At the bare minimum, it has to count for something. But yeah. I also like the fact that, like, even Gaines said, look, the first movie I did was on a budget, and that's why a lot of the CGI looks terrible. Here, we're going to actually have practical effects, and as you guys know, I'm a dirty whore for anything with practical effects. Like, actually using a suit actor for the nurses as well as Pyramid Head. I really like that. I'm always a sucker for, practical effects. And again, I understand that good effects a good movie does not make. But I will also, at the very least, always say that, like, these movies at the bare minimum can at least hang their hat on, like, I would take I will always take good special effects, practical effects over bad CGI any day. And if that's one thing I can hang my hat on with this movie, then totally, then so be it. Now, again, I acknowledge that this movie could still suck. I mean, I put a lot of hope in Welcome to Raccoon City with that first trailer. Remember, like, Resident Evil Welcome to Raccoon City, that first trailer that dropped? And then we all thought, oh man, like, they're doing a lot of cool stuff. Like, it actually feels like a Resident Evil film. And then we watched the movie. Why is it so hard to get a Resident Evil film right? I ask you genuinely. Like, why is it so damn hard to get that fucking franchise right in film form? Even animated film has its misgivings. Like, there are a few of the Resident Evil animated films that I'm just sitting here like, guys, come on. You should know better. Anyway. Yeah, I acknowledge that this movie could still be good. I always, like, that's my thing, is, like, it's so weird, because sometimes I hype up a movie and it turns out to be bad, and then there are other bad, I watch things and think they're going to be bad, and then turn out to be really great. So maybe it's a case of that here. I don't know, but I'm just happy to have Silent Hill again, and plus seeing the Silent Hill 2 remake, I'm actually interested. And the fact that Return to Silent Hill will be centered around the game, which Gaines said is like Christopher Gaines, the director, said that like, yeah, that's like the first four, the first three games are, I think he said first three or first four. Those first few games are masterpieces, but the second game, Silent Hill 2, is the pinnacle, which he's not wrong. He is not wrong that Silent Hill 2 is, absolute cinema. So I do appreciate that. Now, I think that they've said that the movie is coming out later this year. I would imagine a October release just coming out of nowhere, which would not shock me. But yeah. So I'm cautiously optimistic about the whole thing. Now let's talk about the other bit of news. Doc Savage. Doc Savage is the Man of Bronze, a pulp character that has been kind of in the public domain, but it's like the same thing with like Tarzan or King Kong, where the public domain rights are kind of up in the air. Well, now we have a official announcement for the film, in that Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson will be playing Doc Savage, and Shane Black will be writing and directing the film. Yeah. Shane Black, the guy who did The Nice Guys and wrote, was an Oscar-winning screenwriter and totally didn't shit the bed so hard on The Predator he almost single-handedly murdered the franchise. Yeah, that's Shane Black. I hope it's not The Predator Shane Black and we actually get The Nice Guys Shane Black. But yeah, Doc Savage has always been a movie that has, Doc Savage has been a film that has been trying to get off the ground for the longest time, but now The Rock and Shane Black look like they're finally going to be able to get the project off of the ground and into theaters. And I'm like, the creative team behind it just makes me just kind of wince a bit. I mean, don't get me wrong, Shane Black has made some really good things. At the same time, I can't look at him and not think of how bad The Predator was. And not only that, The Rock just plays The Rock. It's like Tom Cruise playing Tom Cruise. Like, you can't, I personally, my pick for Doc Savage, yes, The Rock has the physicality of Savage. Let's be real. Yeah. But my personal pick would have been Alan Ritchson. I can't pronounce his last name, but he's in the Reacher TV show on Amazon. And I was like, dude, he'd make a great Doc Savage. I don't know why he keeps saying, let me be Batman, or let me be this character. I'm like, dude, you should be Doc Savage. But yeah, look, I'm a real fan of these pulpy era pulp era adventure stories, and Doc Savage is responsible for a lot of comics, a lot of stories like Indiana Jones, the Tomb Raider series, a lot of that, much like how John Carter John Carter stories inspired Superman and Star Wars and Flash Gordon and all that. Doc Savage inspired Uncharted and Tomb Raider and Indiana Jones and all these adventure stories that are set in the 1920s, these fun adventure era stories. So I do want to have faith in this story, but right now I'm just kind of at best, at worst. I'm not trying to shit on the project again, we go back to when I talked so much shit about The First Omen, and then it turned out to be really good. Or when I talked about so much shit about Saw X, and then it turned out to be really good. So again, Shane Black could easily bounce back for this, for all I know, and Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson is still going to play The Rock, but he'll be wearing a coat. There you go. Anyway, and also, it comes to my attention that I don't have a lot of Doc Savage in my collection. Yeah, I really don't have anything of Doc Savage in my collection. I just realized. I mean, I've read a lot of the character. I just don't own a lot of his stories in there. Anyway, but that's neither here nor there. So there you go. There's some mashed up news for you. You guys tell me in the comments below. What do you guys think of Silent Hill, and the news for the remake, for Return to Silent Hill. What do you guys think of the Silent Hill 2 remake? And what do you think of the news for the Doc Savage movie announcement? Just comment below, let me know. Other than that, hope you all enjoyed this. I'm Mr. Multiverse. I'll see you next time in the Multiverse.